feeling of unfulfillment. That you feel like if you're not fulfilled, you feel like there's something empty inside you. You understand? And I know a lot of people can relate to that. That lack of fulfillment. You don't feel like the job you're doing is fulfilling enough or will be fulfilling enough to take care of you, and you don't even feel like your life is fulfilling enough. And I think it's important that we try to address that because I've had that feeling. Um, in the not too distant past, I had that feeling of unfulfillment. And I want to share with you what I do to get over it and what helps me to get over it day by day, that lack of that unfulfillment. Because if it's a dangerous thing to live with. To live with a feeling of unfulfillment is a dangerous thing. And it's dangerous because it makes you feel like if it makes you have a feeling of nothingness. It makes you feel insignificant. And that feeling of insignificance and worthlessness or worthless activity is what drives people to do things that they shouldn't do because it drives you to a place of depression and drives you to a place of almost being suicidal. You understand? So I felt it's important for us to address this as a family. I will still do a podcast on this, but I want us to discuss it. As I always say, I want to discuss it with you guys first so I can go at length. Because sometimes when I do the podcast, they are kind of short. But I want to really discuss it with you guys at length. Now, you know, I used to feel like that. And I remember if if there's someone that knows me well enough, I would say it's my wife, knows me well. And and she always tells me that there was a time that I just used to think a lot. I would just be lost in thought, just thinking. And she'll ask me, what am I thinking of? And I'll tell her I'm just thinking of the future. I'm just thinking of how I'm going to survive the future, what the future is going to be like. Um, and can we have everybody muted, please, if that's possible? Um, and then I just used to think of, I just used to be lost in that thought of how am I going to make it? How am I going to how am I going to run a family on this graphic design career? How am I going to do all these things that I see adults then doing? How am I going to send my kids to school? How am I going to afford a car? How am I going to afford a house? You understand? How am I going to be the head of a family that people look up to? You understand? And those things used to worry me. I used to think of, look, how am I going to stand with my peers who are working in banks and are getting loans and are buying cars and are building houses? And I just look at myself as a graphic designer then in my late 20s, living in my parents' house, in a room in my parents' house. And it just used to worry me a lot because it was so far from where I wanted to be. Now, just a few weeks ago, I had an interview with somebody and she asked me a question. And that question revealed something to me. She asked me, if you could fast forward a part of your life and slow down a part of your life, what part of your life would you fast forward? What part would you slow down? And in my answer, I said, oh, definitely, I'll fast forward school because school to me was so boring and it kind of felt like you spent a lot of time doing things that you can't even apply to your life now or see what the relevance was. So I say, I'll fast forward the schooling experience. And she asked me, what part will I slow down? And I thought about it for a while. And the answer was clear to me. I said, I'll slow down this moment in my life, this part of my life. I'll slow it down. And as I was giving that answer, I've never thought of that question before. So the answer was even new to me. But I was giving the answer and it was honest. And I said, I'll slow down this part of my life because I love this part of my life. I love this stage in my life. I love who I am. I love where I am. I love what I love my family life. I love my work life. I love everything about this life. I don't mind slowing it down. And that immediately I gave that answer, it made me realize that I was fulfilled. I had a feeling of fulfillment. I was fulfilled. And it became clear to me that, Tola, you're actually fulfilled in the sense that not everything around me was perfect. You understand? Not everything is perfect around me. I'm not making the kind of money I want to be making. I'm not living in the kind of house I feel I should be living. I'm not driving the kind of car I want to be driving. Definitely, even in my marriage life, yes, me and my wife, we have back and forth. We have fights. My kids do some things that make me unhappy, but I'm still fulfilled. I will still slow down this process. And I thought, wow, I'm actually in a place of bliss. I'm happy. You understand? And it was an epiphany for me. It was light. It was like light just came into my life. And I just said, I need to really gather why I'm happy right now and why I feel so fulfilled and at rest. And that's what I want to share with you. How I've come to that place of feeling fulfilled every day. I'm fulfilled today. But today has not been a perfect day, but I'm fulfilled. I know I'll be fulfilled tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow might hold, but I know I'll be fulfilled. So I know that nothing really messes with my fulfillment. And I want you guys to have that feeling that you can say, oh, I've not had a design job in 3 months. But you know what? I wouldn't change anything about my journey. I don't have a car. But you know what? I'm as happy as can be. I'm happy to be Paul. I'm happy to be Stephen. I'm happy to be Vivo. I'm happy to be Tom Ted. I'm happy to be Kosi. That you can be happy to be yourself right now, not happy to be yourself in the future, or say, I will be happy when I become this version of Jafar. Do you understand? I want you guys to be happy in your present state. And that can only happen by doing what I'll tell you about right now. Now, to get straight to the point, I thought about it and I realized that there are two things that I have going in my life. Two things that I have going in my life that keep me fulfilled. Two things. There are not three, there are just two. And those two things they drive me every single day towards a place of inner fulfillment where I go to bed and I'm fulfilled and I wake up and I'm excited to go into the day. It's not money. It's not possessions. It's not popularity or fame. It's not big clients or my portfolio. It's not my skill. The two things I have going in my life that keep me fulfilled are, number one, my assignment, the knowledge of my assignment in life. Number two, my dream. My dream and my assignment. Those are the two things I have in my life right now. And those are the two things I want you guys to have in your life. If you have those two things, you have your assignment and your dream, and you wake up with those two things, you would realize you will live a fulfilled life. It wouldn't be about, oh, I don't think I'm doing something in my life. I feel like if I'm stunted, oh, you'll be looking at the job you're doing and saying, oh, they're not paying me enough. No, those things will not bother you as much anymore. And I'll go into explaining what I mean by your assignment and your dream. But know that those two things are very important for you guys to have if you're going to have a fulfilled life. An awareness of your assignment as a person and a vision of your dream equals fulfillment. An awareness of your assignment and a vision of where you want to be equals fulfillment. And remember, I'm telling you, a vision of where you want to be, not even attaining where you want to be, but just having a vision of it will give you more energy than any amount of money will give you. Will give you more excitement than any amount of friends would give you. Knowing why you are on earth, knowing what your assignment is, being aware of it, and having a dream to where your destination is would give you happiness and joy. Now, some of you might not really get what I'm saying in this session or in this meeting we are having. Don't worry. That's why we are recording it. Because I want you to listen to it and listen to it. When you listen to it now, you might only get 10%. Some of you might get 80%. So it's all cool. But you understand it the more you listen to it. So this recording is not just for those that are not around. It's also for you guys that are around so that you can always access it and get to listen to it. Now, what do I mean by assignment and dream? Now, I have an awareness of why God made me as Tola Alabi. I know. It took a while to know, but I know. And I wake up every day excited about that thing I have to do that day. I know why God made me and the part I am meant to play in this whole drama called life. I know it. You understand? I understand it. And again, I have a vision of Tola Alabi in 10, 15, 20 years' time. I know what I want to be doing. I have an ultimate dream that I see myself doing. You understand? And that excites me. But you know what? The interesting thing is, my dream is far. I can see it, but it's far off. My hands cannot touch it. It's far from me. I can't touch it. So don't feel like if I'm living the dream. I'm not living the dream. I just see my dream from afar. I can see it, but I can't touch it. It's far. And that's where a lot of us get frustrated, because between the assignment and the dream, there's a gap. There's a gap. There's a huge gap. A huge deep space between your assignment and your dream. And I know it because I'm standing on my assignment. I see my assignment every single day. But the dream is so far. I can see it, but I can see it clearly. You understand? And I think I'll give you a hint of what how I got to know what my assignment is. In, I think, the year 2018, or was it 2017? I think 2017. I was in this state where a lot of you say you can relate with. I think it was 2018. 2018, yeah. I was in this state. You know, I was frustrated. I was sad because at that time I'd been doing graphic design for maybe about 12 or so years, or 13 years, thereabout. You understand? And I knew that people in the industry respected me. I had some people I had mentored unofficially who were always coming to me saying, "Oh, sir, show me how to do this, show me how to do this." But I realized that my life was not the way I wanted it to be. Number one, I was struggling. To meet up financially with my family needs. I was struggling to meet up financially with everything going around. I was driving a car that I really didn't like. In fact, the car was always giving problems. It was always breaking down on the road. So the amount of people that have seen me on the road say, "Tola, I saw you now. I saw you. Your car was broken down the road." You know, that kind of people used to see me regularly. The car used to break down anyhow. It was a source of embarrassment to me. Because whenever I'm driving that car, I'll be praying, let this car just take me home. And I used to feel some kind of shame. I would say, "Tola, you've been in this design game for about 13 years. And yet, school fees is a problem. It's giving you heart palpitation. The car you're driving is a car that was handed down to you from somebody. You didn't even buy it. You've never bought a car in your life before. And people are hailing you as the chairman of logo design. Some of these people that you mentored are doing better than you. You understand? Some of them obviously were doing better than me. They had offices, they were getting good jobs, but they were still saying sir to me. I said, if these guys knew my situation, they won't say sir to me. And I was sad. I was very sad. I felt like my life was stunted. I said, what does all this mean? What does it add up to? I said, it doesn't add up to anything. I felt like, so this is all I have to show for it. A struggle, 13 years, and people will call you mentor. And I felt this imposter syndrome. No, imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is when you feel like if people think more of you. I didn't even think more of myself. I just felt a feeling of, I felt like a fraud. So when people liked my work, I was like, this guy didn't even know what's going on. I was still in a situation whereby I was still hassling price with some clients. You see, I'm telling you guys this because you guys are my mentoring guys. I need to be honest with you guys. I'm honest totally with you. I'm not a mentor to lie to you guys. I'm telling you the truth. It was a terrible time for me in my mind. And me and my wife were struggling. We're struggling. My wife was not working a job then. She was out of a job too then. So we're just struggling. And I remember my wife told me, what else do I like to do? So we're trying to get side income. She was like, we can't live on this one job. This graphic design job, that job is coming today, it doesn't come tomorrow. She said, we need to get a side gig. You need to get a side gig. I need to get a side gig. And you also need to get a side gig. So I was thinking, what can we do? So we thought from one thing, we said, let me go into dog breeding. I said, let me breed dogs. But then she was like, okay, if you're going to breed dogs, do you have money to buy a dog? If you buy a dog, do you have money for vets to feed them? Do you have money? Do you have a space? That one didn't work, but there was no money for all that stuff. And she also then she said, what else do you like to do? And at that time, we had just finished doing logo match. And see, during logo match, I interacted with a lot of designers, and they're all respectful. They're all like, oh, Mr. Tola, Mr. Tola. But me, I was like, this Mr. Tola, you guys are even, it doesn't have jack, man. So I told her that this logo match experience we had, I enjoyed teaching designers. I enjoyed answering their questions. Because after logo match, people started coming to me and asking me questions, telling me, Mr. Tola, I have this client. What should I do? I want to present this logo. Can you help me look at it? And I'll look at it and I'll help them. And I told her I like that feeling of helping designers. Then she said, start a YouTube channel and put out content that helps designers. And I said, man, that one, I was like, I wasn't cool with it because I was like, YouTube channel. Number one, I'm not the most tech savvy person. I'm not a very tech savvy person. I'll now be setting up YouTube account. I didn't know anything about YouTube in then. I told her I'm not interested in YouTube channel. I'm not interested in it. So I kicked the idea away. Then she brought it back again. I said, you just try it. Do this. And I gave in. And I said, okay, let me try the YouTube channel. Because she told me something. She said, if your YouTube channel should grow to a particular point, YouTube will start paying you. So I said, they'll pay me. I said, okay, so let me do it then. Let them pay me. So I set up my channel. And I started doing Pro Up Masterclass. It took me a while to start Pro Up Masterclass because I was so distracted with work and trying to meet my family needs. So it took me a while. She would tell me, when are you going to start this Pro Up Masterclass? I said, I'll start it, but I need to get money for children's school fees. I need to do this. She would say, start this thing, start it. But then she said, I needed to buy a new phone. I said, okay, I can't record with the card. I don't one terrible techno phone then that the pixels were terrible. Couldn't record jack. The memory card was low. So I said, I need to buy a new phone. So I said, okay, I'll buy a new phone. I bought mic, I bought lights and all those things. And then it was time to start shooting videos. And I started. And when I started, I was getting some feedback from people. But then I now realized that YouTube was not going to pay me till I had about how many 100,000 views. I said 100,000 views. Man, I'm not doing this thing. I'm not doing this thing again. 100,000 views, just too many views. When will I reach 100,000 views? As at that time, I had maybe about 100 views. You understand? I said, I can't do this. So I stopped. And my wife kept on telling me, go back, do this thing, record this thing. And I said, no, I have other things to do. I have bills to pay. So sometimes I will even take the aggression out on her. I'll be like, man, don't you understand? I can't be shooting YouTube video right now. I have to pay bills. I have to do this. I have to do that. Let me concentrate on the work. So I was concentrating on the work. But something interesting happened. When I started doing videos for Pro Masterclass and I stopped out of discouragement, people started contacting me and started saying, I watched your video on how to do this. I watched your video on this. Can I get your number? Can I do this? And I will give them my number and they'll contact me on WhatsApp and they'll start asking me questions. I know some people will ask me questions and I will leave their questions for almost 3 weeks because I was too busy working, trying to make ends meet. Do you understand? I was too busy just in that hustle. So I won't answer them. But you know what? Those people's questions will be on my mind. Those people's questions will be on my mind. It will bother me. Or can you guys still hear me? Please just type if you can still hear me because I think a call tried to come in just now.
Yes, we can, sir.
Okay, all right. Sorry. It was interrupted by a call. The call just tried to come in. All right. So, but those questions will be on my mind. I'll be sleeping And the person's question, I will say, how can I deal with a client? How can I charge a client more for this? And I'll be like, why is this question bothering me so much? I'll be taking my bath. The best question will be on my mind. And I'll be like, I don't have time to answer this person's question. I want to get back to working so I can provide for myself and my family. And the question will nag. In fact, these people, their names do not leave my head. So if the person's name is Sheon or something, I'll just be like, answer Sheon, reply Sheon, reply Sheon. I'll sleep and I'll wake up. The first person I'll think of is Sheon. And I don't even know the Sheon guy from anywhere. Why is this thing nagging me? And you know what? I'll take time to answer Sheon after like 3 weeks. And I'll answer Sheon. And you know what happened? Every time I took time to answer somebody for a question they asked me, something I'm trying to settle in my house, whether a bill or something, we just get settled. The first time it happened, I thought, man, this thing is a fluke, Jerry. It just happened to be. Then happened again. I will ignore someone for a long time. I'll be struggling. Then I'll answer the person, and what I want will just come. And I now realize, oh, this is it. This is the way it works. As in, it just came alive. After it happened for like 5 people, I said, so this, my own personal needs, is tied up to meeting somebody else's needs. And it was amazing how it always worked out. Whenever I was trying, even to the point of getting logo approved, I'll be working on a logo, the client will not approve. But once I answer a designer's question, the client will approve. It will be a client that will say, oh, I want to work with you. They will ghost on me. They will go for a long time. I'll be calling them, how far this job? We'll do it. Once I answer a designer's question, the client will call me and say, let's do the job. I'm telling the absolute truth here. As in this, I'm open with you guys. Those things are related. And that's when I realized that this was an assignment for me to do. This was why I was placed here. Not to take care of myself or my family. It's to help designers and help business people. That's why I'm here. You know, once that realization came to me, I started shooting videos anyhow. I just started, I made, even if it means I'll wake up in the middle of the night to shoot a video, I'll shoot a video. I started shooting videos. I started answering questions as much as possible. I made myself as available as possible. Look, ask anybody. I told people on the webinar I had just last week. I told them, if you want me to talk to your community, even if you are just 2, that is yes first. I have a ready yes for every speaking engagement. I don't think there's anybody here that has told me to speak to their community. I've said no. I don't say no to teaching people. I don't. I say yes first. Unless there is something, and I've not seen that thing that will make me say no. I don't say no. I say yes. And I never talk to people about money for paying me for talking. I never. I don't care if you are charging. Ask anybody. Just ask anybody who have spoken on their platform before that. Mr. Tola said, I wouldn't speak on your platform or teach people until they pay me this. I do not talk money with anybody. I speak for free. The other, like last month, someone called me. Said they want me to teach his community. I said, no problem. He was so shocked. He said, are you sure? I said, I'm sure. When? Give me the time and the date. I will show up. That's what I just told them. Just give me the time, date. And if you have a topic, give me the topic. You understand? And the platform. I'll be there. And people are always like, oh, I'm so honored. You are so humble. You are so this. It's not that. It's my assignment. I have to do it. Do you understand? It's my assignment. And it excites me to do it. I realize that I love it more than I love designing. I love talking to designers. I love talking to business people. I love advising people on branding. I love doing it. I love doing it. It's my assignment. I realize that's why I'm here. Do you understand? So I got that. Everything keyed in when I realized the assignment. Okay, so can someone put me up to speed to where the last thing I said that you could hear?
You were talking about.
You're talking about, okay.
Okay, speak, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were talking about like enjoying talking to.
Sorry, Jack, I can't hear you clearly.
Also, I think you were talking about how
people you were, people who told you to speak on their platforms, how they were honored, this and that. I think that way you stopped.
Okay, all right, okay, all right. So I did that. I put myself out there to speak. I continually put myself out there to teach people and to give in terms of knowledge to help people, because I realized that that is my assignment, and the assignment is very much related to the quality of life that I live. The more I fulfill my assignment, the more I give myself to my assignment, the less I will have to hustle at my job. That is how it works. So you see, if I'm going to advise you guys right now, each and every one of you need to find out what your assignment is. It is the greatest question you can ask yourself. It's the greatest question you can ask yourself. And it's the greatest discovery you can make. Knowing what your assignment is. Knowing what your assignment is the singular thing that will solve your fulfillment issues. You see, a lot of people try to solve their fulfillment issues by looking for a better job. So you say, I'll be more fulfilled when I get a job that pays me this. I'll be more fulfilled when I get a house that looks like this. I'll be more fulfilled when I marry a person that is like this. No. All those things are external. Your fulfillment comes not from what you get, but what you are made to give. We are all made to give something. But the biggest distraction we have is ourselves. We are in our own ways. We get in our own way when we try to take care of ourselves. We get to that place where we try to take care of ourselves, and it's a big distraction. It was my biggest distraction, that hustle of trying to take care of my family instead of doing that assignment that was given to me. You know why an assignment is hard? An assignment is hard because it doesn't have you in the picture. That's the hardest thing about an assignment. It's hard because it doesn't have you in the picture. It's for other people. And that's why it's hard for us to do our assignment sometimes. Your assignment is totally what you are made to give people. To give. Not to sell, to give. To give. That's your assignment. And once you find that out and you can start doing it, look, this feeling of unfulfillment that we have will go away. And that's why I was saying that, look, those two voice notes that two. The biggest issue they both have and we have as people is that it was basically about them. I am not feeling fulfilled. I should be here. I should be earning more. You understand? But you have to take the attention off yourself and put the attention on other people. God created each and every one of us for others, not for ourselves. The moment you understand that, the moment you realize that, you feel more fulfilled in your life. You feel more fulfilled. So finding out what your assignment is so important. That's the first phase. Find out what your assignment is. I encourage each and every one of you to have a project that is your assignment. The best thing that has ever happened to me is Pro Masterclass. It's the best thing. It's the best thing. YouTube doesn't pay me. Nobody pays me for my content on Pro Masterclass. But it fulfills me beyond any other thing I've ever done in my life. The amount of joy I have helping people telling me, oh, I watched this video and it's just what I need, gives me fulfillment beyond what I can tell any other. I can tell you guys right now. Because I realize that my assignment is to give people hope. That's my assignment. Is to give people hope. When they feel hopeless, my assignment is they listen to my content and they feel hope. I should be that voice of hope. So whenever I talk to people, when I'm having webinars, my mission in that webinar is not to go and impress them with my English. No, my mission is to make sure that Somebody leaves that place feeling, I'm glad I listened to this thing because it makes me feel like if I have hope. You understand? And that's the assignment. So the first thing I'll tell each and every one of you is find out that assignment. Find out that assignment. There's something. It's there. You know it. It has been nagging. It's nagging. It's there. But you've been pushing it off because you have been in the cycle of taking care of yourself. You know it. It's there. That thing that you're meant to give to people is there. And I don't want you to ignore it. I want you to be cognizant of it, to see it and to embrace it and to do it. Look, since I started Pro Masterclass, I've not struggled for school fees. I have not. Never ever since I started it. Never. I've never had to tell any school that let me pay 50%, pay 70%. No, it has never ever happened. I pay 100. I pay 100. It has never happened. I don't struggle for clients anymore. I don't struggle. I don't pitch. The jobs come. The jobs come. It's not, I'm not boasting. I'm just telling you the reality. That's the reality. It's not by any strength of mine. It's not by any of those. No, it's just that I just focus solely on my assignment. And this year, when this year started, the first thing I told God was, God, I want to do more content than I've ever done before this year. I want to do it. And that's why, if any of you can remember, I started this year doing like a 1-week marathon of content because I wanted to start gymming for the amount of content I was putting out. It takes my time putting out this content. You understand? But that's what blesses my life because it blesses other people. So you need to find that assignment first before you start looking for that dream job. When you do your assignment, that dream job will come. That dream client will come. That fulfillment will come. You won't be thinking, should I be in Lagos? Should I be in Ibadan? Should I be in Akure? No. Those things will come to you. You think of what you can give. Think of what you can give. And have a dream. That's the second thing that I realize gives people a feeling of unfulfillment. They don't have a dream. And you need to have a dream. A clear dream. Look, I told you my assignment. I know it. If they ask, why did God make you? I can tell people, God made me, put me on this earth to give people hope. That's my assignment. That's why I was made, to give people hope. Anybody that comes in contact with me should have hope. My dream, and I'll tell you what my dream is. My dream is that one day I will stand in front of a sold-out stadium of people, hundreds of thousands of people, and I will speak to them. And it will be the best speaking engagement I've ever had and people I've ever come in contact with, because they will all live with hope. Do you understand? I see it. You see, when I watch football, I look at Old Trafford, I look at all these places, 80,000 capacity. I say one day I'll be there to speak to people. I see it in my mind. But the question is, have I spoken to 500 people before? No. Have I spoken to 200 people before at once? No. It was just this last webinar that I spoke to 100 people. Do you understand? So you can see how far I am from my dream. It's so far. I want to talk to a stadium full of people, and then I'm talking to a handful of people. So sometimes when I'm doing webinars and there are only 5 people, something in me wants to get discouraged, but I don't get discouraged because I realize that dream would happen. It will happen. It will happen. And I'm telling you guys right now, so when it happens, you say, oh, this is what Mr. Tola was telling us that day on the 19th of September, 2021. This is what he was telling us. Because it will happen. It might happen next year, it might happen 2 years' time, it might happen in 5 years' time, it might happen in 10, but it will happen. But in the meantime, I am not focusing on the dream to lose sight of the assignment. Because that's what some of us do. Some of us are so focused on the dream, and we see how far we are away from the dream, and we give up. We get discouraged. Your dream is to live in the US, in a mansion in the US. Let's assume that's your dream. in a mansion in the US that has a house with the pool and stuff like that, if that is your dream, but you see yourself now, you are living in Ado Ekiti, or well, I'm not trying to run Ado Ekiti, but that just came to my mind. But I live in Ado Ekiti, in a rural area, in Ado Ekiti, where there's no light for 2 months, and you come out of your house, and the first thing you hear are goats and chicken, and you're so far from the US that you want to be in, and you get discouraged because you are focusing too much on the dream, and you lost sight of the assignment. Look, you glance at the dream, you see the dream, it's real, it's going to happen. Look, I'll tell you what happens to me. I wake up every day remembering where I'm going. A stadium full of people. But that's not what really excites me. What excites me is what I have to do today. So I think, oh, today, man, I need to make content for Pro Up Masterclass. And that excites me. I know what happens. Every single day, I do the assignment. And I put up my head at the end of the day to look at the dream. The dream is always closer. Every single day, I commit myself to doing the assignment for free. That doesn't really serve me much in the now. When I've finished doing the assignment for the day and I'm about to go to bed and I raise my head just to remember the dream, I realize that I'm one step closer to the dream. And I was just telling you guys that I'm used to speaking to people, 5 people, 10 people, 20 people. The other thing that Temi just did, the forum that Temi just did, I was shocked. To 100 people. That's the first time I ever spoke to 100 people. And that night, I didn't see 100 people. I saw one step closer to my dream. So don't ever feel like you're stuck in your life. The only time you feel you're stuck is when you focus on yourself. And we need to stop focusing on ourselves. We need to start focusing on what we can give. I need to say that to what is your assignment? What did God put you here to give? What can you give? There are some of us here that have projects, and I'm going to encourage you to, like I know IK has this is YouTube channel. That's your giving. Take care of that thing. They're going to be tempted. They're going to be tempted to ignore it. They're going to be tempted to ignore it, but don't ignore it because of the money you want to make now. I know Jay has his platform. He has a group. He has the mastermind group and everything. Don't take that thing for granted. That thing is more important than any job you are doing, any logo job you are doing. Do you understand? Those things are more important. To me, what I was doing this is audios, and I used to listen to it. Don't give up on that thing. You'll be tempted because it's not paying you, but you'll be so shocked how much it's paying you and how much it will pay you if you continue doing it. You cannot bless people and not be blessed. And that's the problem in Nigeria. We don't have a lot of blessed people in Nigeria. We have many rich people, but we don't have blessed people. And I'll tell you what the difference is. You get rich by working and getting. That's how you get rich, by working and getting. Whatever the work is, it might be legal work, it might be legal work. But for you to get rich, you must work and get something. For you to be blessed, you must serve and give. And there are very few people in Nigeria that are serving and giving. The problem with the rich is because they are working and getting, they hoard and they don't give because they remember how much they had to work for that money. Even a Yahoo boy will not give easily because he thought of how many people he had to work and get on that email thread. So he won't give, he will think of the stress he did. And someone that got rich legally too will think, man, I hustle this money, I cannot give anyhow. That's the problem with being rich as opposed to being blessed. When you are blessed, you give and you serve. And you realize that your serving is coming back to you the more. So I want each and every one of you listening to this thing right now to take time out to find out what your assignment is. That thing that is nagging on your mind. It might be the most ridiculous thing to you. I remember talking to Ben the other day, and Ben was talking about how he likes to play the drums and stuff like that. For someone like Ben now, his assignment might just be to teach people drums for free. Just to teach young children for free. Look, the biggest enemy to doing that thing is the work you are doing right now. Because you will say, this Saturday that I used to do this, I should be using. No, do it. Force out that time and do it. That is what is going to make your life make sense. That is why I feel fulfilled every single day. Every single day. Because every single day I do my assignment. And every single day I see my dream get closer. Because every single day I get better at speaking. Every single day I get better at speaking. So I'm dreaming, I'm getting ready for when I'm going to speak to so many people. Then they'll wonder how this guy can speak so well. You understand? So you need to start doing that assignment. Look, all these things you're looking at that you're thinking of getting, that is making you feel like if you're not making progress, you haven't bought a car, you haven't bought a phone, you haven't bought a laptop. Look, those things, do they have true value? True value doesn't diminish. Look, if I bought an iPhone 13 today, and I did a video about getting an iPhone 13, look, some people will admire it. But think about it. Is that phone really valuable? Because think about it. In 5 years' time, people will laugh at that video and say, "Can you imagine this? Imagine this guy. He's excited about iPhone 13." When by that time, maybe they would have had iPhone 25 or some other company that come up with something else. So you see, the value has diminished over time. In 2021, an iPhone 13 was valuable. In 2030, an iPhone 13 is obsolete. So that's not true value. If I bought a Lexus Jeep today, yeah, people will say, man, this guy, they will hail me. But give it 3-4 years, it will just be like, okay, Lexus Jeep, man, nobody's talking about that anymore. So the value has diminished. But imagine, I'll tell you something, there are videos that I did in 2018. My first Pro Masterclass video is still there. And it's still valuable. How many years later? 3-4 years later, it's still valuable. If it stayed on internet for the next 30 years, someone will still watch it and still think it's valuable. That is true value. It doesn't matter the year. It doesn't have a model. That's why you can listen to things from Martin Luther King in 1960 something, and it still makes sense. But what else from 1960 something still makes sense today in terms of technology? Nothing. So value is what you give from the inside, not what you acquire on the outside. Those things will diminish. Do you understand? So you guys need to look for your assignment by all means. By all means, let's start talking about assignments now. Let's just forget about ourselves on this premium mentoring. Let's just do an exercise of forgetting about ourselves, and let's start talking to each other about, man, this is what I want to do. I want to give. Start off forums and clubs and WhatsApp channels for people to help them, and you realize that you'll be living your dream in no time. So, if you're going to take anything away from this class, first thing is find out your assignment. Second thing is have a dream. Do you understand? Never focus on the gap between your assignment and your dream. Never focus on it, because you can't fill that gap by working. You fill that gap by doing your assignment. Every day you do your assignment, you get closer to your dream. That's how it works. Remember, your assignment is what you do for others. Your dream is for yourself. You understand? That's the reward you get from doing that work for others. But don't be in a haste. Be happy doing your assignment. And trust me, I'm telling you out of experience, if you do your assignment, you will realize that all those things you are struggling for will begin to settle themselves. That's how you become that graphic designer that can take care of their family, that can travel abroad, that can buy a car, that can take their children to good schools, that can be celebrated. It's not by working towards that. It's by serving others and giving of yourself to others. So I think for now I will stop the talk there, because I want us to take some questions. So if you have questions, please just let's do like a question and answer session. It might be based on what I just spoke about. If you have a question concerning that or something else, but let's take some time to just answer some questions.